Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. I don't really give a fuck much about Thanksgiving. So, and it's kind of another holiday. I'm sure by the end of the day it'll piss me off or something. We'll talk about it a little bit, right? Maybe. But yeah, Merry Thanksgiving. I just like fucking around. So, happy Turkey Day, Amber. It's good to see you. Trying to remember where I shared to. Okay. There we go. Okay, that should be it. Everybody else probably kind of running around doing what they're doing. Oh, my kids already left. I don't know what they're up to. Probably went to his mom's. So, let's talk about that a little bit. This dividing of families, and if we're gonna be family, we gotta be family, and the whole don't invite this person. I'm so tired of it. Seems to happen on birthdays, and I'm gonna be because So my granddaughter had her birthday, and I wasn't invited. Right, not my daughter's decision, because we don't want Dion there. Right, so I didn't get invited. But if I would have been invited, I would have brought all the grandkids, my wife, brothers, sisters, and no one showed up to her birthday party because people were fighting inside the family, and they took it out on my granddaughter, and I'm fucking livid. I want to write my ex a scathing email. If it wouldn't go back to my daughter, I'd do it, but they're not mature enough, and it's not cool. So yesterday I was talking. Morning, Gary. Good to see you, man. And I told her, I'm like, you do what you do, you fuck everybody else. As you take care of your kids and your boy, your man, in your life, and you do that. This whole dividing, I got invited for the first time to Thanksgiving in 5 years. But what happened the last 4 years? If somebody in the family is a second thought, that's just bullshit. It is. And I don't want any part of it. I don't. So for those people today that maybe don't have family, or maybe their family abuses them still, and things like that, you're allowed to stay away. You really are. Go do something else. Act like it's a day off. Go to an AA club and hang out with your people. There's plenty of them around. There is. If you're in a rural area, then hop on a 24-hour AA meeting and hang out with people all day. Go serve the homeless. Go do something esteemable. Okay? But do not sit around in your misery all day. No, you're better off going over there and arguing with them. Because at least you'll be right about something. Just saying. Just say it. All right. Let's get to the readings. This was going to be called "You Can't Bullshit a Bullshitter," but this was a little bit nicer, right? So we're going to be in the 12 by 12 on page 180 for anybody that would like to follow along. My brain's wanting revenge today. I don't know why. Well, I found some other things out the other day, and yeah. Excuse me. All right, let's get started. Some talking juice. Oh, I didn't even do introductions. Welcome to the church. Dion, if you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching live or the rewatch. Restream has assigned somebody specific to my case for fixing this. They are now going to give me 3 months free. And they're going to help me build my stuff. See, I gave them a challenge. I said, things free, giving me, $10 off for next month. That's nice and everything. But, really, I challenge you to get out of yourselves and become better people. That's what I would like to see from you. That was the challenge, not the money. See, I don't challenge people that way. If I have to supply a consequence, there's going to be something good at the end of that consequence, if that makes sense. The consequence is going to be, it's like judges. Judges do not really give consequences. It's justice. Lady Justice. Right? Oh, no, it's the one here holding the scales. They're getting justice. Remember one time a judge, one of the orders was that I was required to get my driver's license back, which is not a right, it's a privilege, because he wanted me to become a better person, become more responsible, to be a working member of society. And isn't that what we're really going for here? Those bedevilments really fuck things up. So let's get started. Without its legions of well-wishers, AA could never have grown as it has. Throughout the world, immense and favorable publicities of every description has been the principal means of bringing alcoholics into fellowship. In AA offices, clubs, and homes, telephones ring constantly. One voice says, I read a piece of the newspaper. Another, we heard a radio program. And still another, we saw a moving picture, or we saw something about AA on television. It's no exaggeration to say that half of AA's membership has been led to us through channels like these. All right. What they just said in our modern day talky talk. Multiple pathways to recovery. That's what that is. That's your multiple pathways to recovery. See, the multiple pathways are not, you pick your recovery is going to be different, and it's going to be unique and things like that. But if you think a new alcoholic or a newly sober alcoholic can make decisions all by themselves, I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to chase the shiny things. There's got to be discipline. There's got to be structure. You got to guide them. They don't know what they're doing. If they did, they wouldn't ask you for help. If they did, God wouldn't have put that little thing in your story and said, go ask them or go tell them you're going to be you're their sponsor. Come on, let's provide some help. Let's do something. Right? Doesn't always work. Last month, I've done that twice. Nothing. But I tried. I gave them direction on what to do next. They didn't want to do it. I'm not going to say they didn't follow it, because they're not required to follow it. They didn't want to do it. Right? Well, that means I got to move on to the next person. That very much goes with what we're saying. Now, if I chase that person, what is that? It's promotion. How is it promotion? Because I want something. Promoting is I want something. Attraction is I don't need anything from you. I already have it. Yeah, that's the difference. Money. Money is the difference, usually. Now, can AA promote? Nope. No, we don't pay for public service announcements. Now, the multiple pathways do that. Okay. I was talking to Colorado Consortium for Prescription Drugs about their abatement money, and they said, how do you suggest we do it? I'm like, that question, it just pissed me off. Because what it told me was, you put no thought into it. I said, how about some public service announcements for 12-step groups? That'd be great. Thank you. The government does that. PBS does it. Every now and then, it doesn't happen anymore, but you used to go around and AA was all over the bus stops, and we were everywhere. But that was not us doing that. That was professionals and things like that, because they knew if you went to AA, then they would have a client who was willing to change, which means they could actually do their job. See how that works? See? Yeah. Oh, you already worked on a lot of your bullshit. Great. Well, now we can get down to causes and conditions. Now that person can really help you. Now, why couldn't they help before? Because I didn't know how to be honest. There it is. Because I didn't know how to be honest. I'm going to check something here real quick. Yay. Fucking bullshit. Why is it like solid? Give me a second here. Shouldn't be doing that. I'm just going to put that there. Well, you guys haven't said anything like, we can't hear you. So the inquiring voices that are not all alcoholics or their families. Doctors read medical papers about Alcoholics Anonymous and call for more information. Clergymen see articles in their church journals and make inquiries. Employers learn that great corporations have set their approval upon us and wish to discover what can be done about alcoholism in their own firms. Did you know that my podcast, at one point for about a year and a half, you were required to listen to it by the Denver Drug Court? Yeah. I knew it wasn't going to last long. It was exciting. Sure, it was kind of cool. But I knew. Drug Court. It was one person's particular story, and they were trying to get popularity. They were trying to promote it with it, and it won't work. Thanks for the more people. But I'm gonna tell you, nothing came out of that. Nothing happened. The only thing that came out of that was Dion got to brag a little bit that it was there, but he didn't do anything. And that person doesn't reach back out to me. Surprise, surprise. You know? See, at one point, everybody kind of wanted to be on Dion's podcast because it was, one of the things to do. I didn't put everybody on. Nope. There were some people I told no. Why? Because they weren't fucking ready to tell their story yet. There wasn't enough what it's like now. Okay? No, I'm not going to bring you on the podcast with 30, 60, 90 days. I would do you a disservice. You would tell your story. Okay? 6 months. Yeah. You might have it. Depending on how much work you've done, then you probably have enough. Somebody like me, it took a lot longer than that. Okay? But my story is, about 6 months if you think you're ready. I would suggest closer to a year. But people grow differently, don't they? The spiritual experience is different. Some get it slower. Some get it quicker. All right? There's the other thing that I keep hearing people. I get it slowly. I get it slowly. I get it slowly. Stop doing that. Stop determining how God is going to do that. And if you're going to get it slowly, what you're saying is, I'm closed-minded. My spiritual experience, that's what they're talking about. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. But learning is now up to me. And if I decide that I want to learn slowly, then that's what's going to happen. Just don't say it. 120 maybe. It's so funny. Excuse me. Therefore, a great responsibility fell upon us to develop the best possible relation policy for Alcoholics Anonymous. Though many painful experiences, we think that we have arrived at what policy ought to be. It is the opposite in many ways of usual promotional practice. We found that we had to rely upon the principle of attraction rather than promotion. And so everybody knows, it just now occurred to me that this is the next tradition that I have to do on the series. So I'm just going to download this one. So anybody listening, I'll try and put something in front of it. Yeah, I can do that. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to use the podcast here as an example. Okay. This is how far the promoting goes. I share it to my Facebook in certain places. That's it. You do not see that it says find us on Spotify and da 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 and da 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 da. No, that's promotion. I can't do that. So how am I getting listeners? It's attraction. It's purely attraction. Okay. God will send people to my podcast if that's what he wants. That's what I believe. Now, let's say we were throwing money in it, and let's say that Dion's thought process was the success for the podcast would be how much money each podcast brought in. Then I wouldn't be very successful because it doesn't work that way for me. Never has. Whenever I try and promote, it just falls apart like a leper in a hailstorm. I came up with that one like, I don't know, 25 years ago, and I just thought it was the funniest thing. So I kept it. You can steal it if you want, but watch where you use it. A lot of times people don't even know what I'm saying anymore. All right. So what do I do then? Well, the podcast in and of itself, like it's whatever the speaker is. I'm going to use Amber because she's here and she doesn't mind. So it'll be Raw Recovery with Amber, hosted by Dion. Hosted. I'm a host. I'm doing everything but telling my story. But you know what the hardest part is? Telling your story. Podcast isn't about me. The lives are more centered towards me, sure. Okay. But if everything I did was about me, you'd get sick of it. It's got to be about other people. Right? So I'm really good at making people comfortable. Not so comfortable that you're going to say something that you don't want to say on there, though. Okay. The other thing about sitting down and talking with me is you feel protected, safe and protected. And I'll tell you why. Because I bring the full fucking force of God with me. Yeah. That's why it works. It's God. Then they share it with their friends. That's it. That's all. And if the person, and I don't even make it a requirement. I say, hey, can you post it? But if they don't post it, I'm not gonna say anything about it. Let's see how these two contrasting ideas, attraction and promotion, work out. A political party wishes to win an election, so it advertised the future virtues of its leadership to draw votes. A worthy charity wants to raise money. Forthwith, its letterhead shows the name of every distinguished person whose support can be obtained. Much of the political, economic, and religious life of the world is dependent upon publicized leadership. People who symbolize causes and ideas feel a deep human need. We of AA do not question that, but we do have to soberly face the fact that being in the public eye is hazardous, especially for us. By temperament, nearly every one of us has been by temperament. I'm going to redo that one. Well, that was the example I was actually using, Amber. So I just couldn't remember how much time it was. By temperament, oh, by temperament, nearly every one of us has had an irrepressible promoter, has been an irrepressible promoter. Thank you. Okay. What was that? That was the pink cloud. Okay. But we can't be running around buttonholing people about AA. We can't do that. And the prospect of a society composed almost entirely of promoters was frightening. Considering this explosive factor, we knew we had to exercise self-restraint. Here's the thing. Almost every single person in AA is a salesperson. Almost all of them. Or we tend to be in positions, or we were, but we tend to be in positions where we promote things, where we're good at just talking and jabbing and yakking, and we got the gift of yakking. Okay. Well, we can't bring that super promoter into AA. That's part of the temperament. Yes. And sorry, that kind of threw me off. I'm sorry it's delayed. There's nothing I can do. Here's the thing. I may not be quite answering you because this is also going to be a podcast. So it needs to kind of go a certain way. That's probably why it seems weird. I had to switch gears a little bit. So people that usually listen to my podcast, you're going to have to put up with the fact that this is kind of a daily reflections too. I'm doing a 2-in-1 here. God's helping me out with my day. So that's probably why it seems hella delayed. So you know. This way of restraint paid off was startling. Its result in more favorable publicity of Alcoholics Anonymous than could possibly have been obtained through all arts and abilities and AA's best press agents. Yeah. Why is that? Because people do not, okay. They're not going to listen to alcoholics. I'm sorry, Amber, but I can't sit here and talk about the delay though. It's not that long. It might be. I don't know. But at the present moment, there's been so many problems with Restream and Facebook at this point. I just don't fucking care. I'm sorry. You'll hear that in about 2 minutes. It might be my computer. All right. You know what? I'm just going to turn this back into a daily trudge. I will do this as a podcast a different time. So let's just go back because it's fucking with people. So I'll do it. It's not that long. It's going to take me like 20 minutes to do this on a podcast. So, all right. Let's just go back to the way that we do it. Because with the delay and everything else, it's fucking with people. And I always even if it's it's a hell of a long delay, I want it's interaction. And now I'm telling Amber not to say those things. And yeah, it don't work that way here. Fuck that. So say what you need to say. I apologize for lowering that on you. So, all right. I tried to do something and it did not. See, that's what happens when you decide all by yourself on how it should be done. See how it didn't work? What a great example. Right in front of you. Right in front of you. See? Well, what was that in me? Well, that was the promoter thought, wasn't it? See? Oh, I'm a promoter. You bet your ass I am. What do I promote? I promote the good things that are outside of AA. That's what I promote. I do not promote AA itself. When it comes to AA, what I am is a good example. That's all I can be when it comes to AA. Right? So, all right. Obviously, AA had to be publicized somehow. So we resorted to the idea that it would be far better to let our friends do this for us. There you go. There's the podcast. That's where I got it from. I decided that it was better to let the speaker or the speaker's friends promote it. Now, here's the thing. the people, excuse me so much, because I tend to pick the speakers. People have a hard time reaching out and say I'd like to be on it, and that's okay. It, it's okay. So I usually tend to pick speakers. Now I pick speakers, and I'm going to use some examples of people that people know, right? Let's say we got Joe Schmo over here. He's got 2 years of sobriety, never been able to tell his story because he's kind of shy. He doesn't want to get up in front of 50 people. The thought of that scares the fuck out of him. Then we got Jelly Roll. No problem, right? I'm going to pick Joe Schmo. Why? Why am I going to do that? Because Jelly Roll gets chances all the time to tell their story. That's it. People that have been, it usually has to do, people that come on my show are people that are a lot like me, where their intentions are, because it's an attraction, not promotion, right? Now, if I promoted, I'd have people on the show and I wouldn't give a fuck where they led you to, because I'd be making my money. Yeah. That's why that number up there will always be small. And you know what? The only time I really get frustrated is when I see something that's just so inane and there's like hundreds of, and it's like, and I try, and then I'm like, I'll talk about men's mental health and no one. That's what gets me. That stuff, but we can't compare. I can only compare me to one other person, the past me. Right? So we have to let our friends do it. What are our friends? Well, this leads us back to another topic. Okay. That means I am responsible when anyone anywhere reaches out to me. I want the hand of AA always to be there. And for that, I am responsible. Those are for the AA friends. It is for the professionals. Okay. Now, the professionals are not sending people to AA because they think these recovery coaches are a part of AA, and they are not. It's one of the things I've had to do here in Colorado is let the professionals know we do not support the recovery coaching right now. I've called all the major places and said they're unregulated. You don't want to use them. Okay. And I know people in the field that have been doing this for a very long time. And if I tell them, it trickles down. One of those people is my mother. Yeah. So we got to let our friends do it. Well, if we're out here screwing around doing whatever the heck we want, then our friends aren't going to see that, are they? What is time good for? It's really only good for one thing: trust of non-drinkers. That's it. That's really the only trust for me. That's really all it's good for. Okay. When I make a new contact, is there trust there? No. I have to do what's called qualify myself, because I'm sure they get phone calls from people with 6 months trying to run around buttonholing everything. So when I call, I speak their language, meet them where they're at, right? And then what happens? Well, I've got a great example for this. Aurora Mental Health. They were not utilizing AA. Now, okay, now it's going to be different. They made some changes over there, by the way. Yay. Yay. Good stuff. Good stuff. In fact, maybe I'll go down there tomorrow or something. I haven't been to. It's an old army barracks, and I have a hard time there. So, all right. Precisely that has happened to an unbelievable extent. Veteran newsmen, trained doubters that they are, have gone all out to carry AA's message. To them, we are something more than a source of good stories. On almost every news front, the men and women of the press have attached themselves to us as friends. Right? Now, if you look at anything else, you're going to find AA all the way through it. They can't help it, but they're going to distort the views and the values of it. They're going to remove God to fit it to what it is that they want. And we call that inventing the wheel, reinventing the wheel. Okay. It won't work. We've got a way. Right? A lot of people steal things from AA. We want you to. Please do it. Please steal everything from AA. Please do it. We want you to. That's exactly what we want. Go ahead, make it your own. But there's certain things where if you don't kind of follow things, okay, I'm not so unique that my path is going to be entirely different than everybody else's. What happens is I get to a certain point and I get to make choices. Okay. Pick your hard. It's going to be hard either way. Sure, OA came from AA. Sure it did. NA, CA. But AA was stolen from another place, from the Washingtonians and the Oxford group. Oxford group and Washingtonians stole it from somebody else. So see, this is not new news. This process, including the traditions, is thousands of years old. This isn't new. Okay. Bill did not create the 12 traditions in the sense that it's only Bill that wrote the, and even then I think it was, I don't know, Amber probably be able to tell me better than, probably be able to tell that better than me. Okay. But what he did is he stole it from other people and put it in words for alcoholics. But it's stolen. All of it is. It's supposed to be. It's free. There's no charge for recovery. No. Why? Because you earned your seat already. You already earned it. What was it? It was the suffering. It was the suffering. See, that's where we're all the same. That's where CA and OA and GA and AA and ACA, that's where we're all the same. It's the suffering. All right. In the beginning, the press could not understand a refusal of all personal publicity. They were genuinely baffled by our insistence upon anonymity. Then they got the, and why is that? Because we need to be accountable. I tell this to people all the, I'll just tell you how I say it. You know, you realize you can't trust alcoholics. This is when I'm talking to Aurora Mental Health and anybody that's listening at the moment. Okay. So why did we stop letting these alcoholics make decisions without accountability? They will fuck it up every time. I will do it. That includes me. You got to keep me accountable or I will run off and do the wrong thing. It's true. It sucks. Yeah. Well, and you probably have a book that's written more towards overeating. But what's that? Like we have the big book. What does OA have? What do you guys call it? Al-Anon is called In All Our Affairs. So they were just, then they got the point. Here is something rare in the world, a society which said it wished to publicize its principle and its work, but not its individual members. That's right. The press was delighted with this attitude. Ever since, these friends have reported AA with an enthusiasm which the most ardent members would find it hard to match. Okay. There's a government program in Colorado. It's called the Faces and Voices of Recovery. And it blows anonymity. And it's always the same person. It's been the same person for 4 years. It very much blows anonymity. But they make it look like it's just some program, but it's a government-run program. Yes. It does not follow tradition because it's not 12-step based. It's not CBT. It's not, no. It's a gather as many people as we can with Medicaid so we can make as much money as we can. Look how cute, look how pretty we are. Fuck, I don't even do my hair. I'm in pajamas. Half the time I haven't shaved. If you're here because of what I look like, I'm married. Very married. Just ask any of my friends how I feel about my wife. All right. Today I was reading this thing. It said, when you find the right person, you fall in love 3 times. First, you fall in love with them. Then you fall in love with yourself. Then you fall in love with the person that you are becoming. So fucking true. My wife did exactly that for me. I'm in the last part with her right now. And that's where we get to be. So cool, huh? Yeah. All right. Now, let's talk about press. They're kind of blowing it, aren't they? There's a guy on Instagram. He's like, I don't remember his name. I'm just going to use the word Matt. And he starts it out, I'm Matt and I'm an alcoholic. I don't know. It's kind of pushing it. I like what he has to say, but it feels very salesy. Oh, I did not know that. So OA uses the AA Big Book, but you don't have your own 12 item. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. It's working, so obviously it's a good idea. You know? And so they just, and what a compliment. Thank you, OA. NA could take some advice from you. Well, even in AA, we say that. You have another problem, just replace the word alcohol with whatever's going on. Wow. So, yes, for the most part, the press will not print your name. Okay. Now, how are they avoiding this? They're not saying AA. But and we know, and yeah, it's kind of pushing the envelope a little bit, I think. Even with what I do, I think it's walking a thin line sometimes. I do. I think that I'm like, okay, we got to make sure that there's plenty of humility in what we do. What's the intent? Well, is the intent for loves and likes? No. I took down all my donation stuff. Why not? No. Doesn't feel right. Hold on. All right. No tummy issues. In the beginning, the press was delighted with this attitude. Ever since, these friends have reported AA with enthusiasm, which the most ardent members would find hard to match. Yeah. Because usually somebody in the public eye, like a news person, is supposed to be, back then, they were trusted. Now, are they really trusted? See, that's the thing. There's no trust. So let's lead that to what people of trust. Yeah. Who are people of trust? Teachers, counselors, doctors, lawyers. Anybody that has to report to HIPAA is a person of trust. That would include peer support, recovery coaching, sober living managers, sponsors. Sponsors are probably the biggest people that trust, but a sponsor can't go out and do that, right? So quite often, do we go out and look for people of trust to promote AA? No, we don't do that either. No, you'll have somebody like a big star, like I'm just going to use George Clooney because everybody knows him. And George Clooney goes, AA saved my son's life. That's what it is. He's a friend of AA, and he said, saved my son's life. That's even pushing it. And then people are like, oh, fuck. Well, I trust George Clooney. Yeah, I like his stuff, and he's a good guy. Yeah, I'm just making shit up. I don't know much about George Clooney, okay? So, see how that yeah. The big book works well, except in the part of the big book where it says you should carry chocolate with you all the time. All right, there was actually a time when the press in America thought the anonymity was better for us than some of our own members did. At one point, about 100 of our society were breaking anonymity at the public level. With perfectly good intent, those folks declared that the principle of anonymity was horse and buggy stuff, something appropriate to AA's pioneering days. They were sure that AA could go faster and farther if it availed itself of modern publicity methods. AA, they pointed out, include many persons of local, national, and international fame. Provided they were willing, and many were, why shouldn't their membership be publicized, thereby encouraging others to join us? These were plausible arguments, but happily our friends of the writing profession disagreed with them. Did you hear that? So there were a bunch of people that decided that they were going to go publicize AA, and we can't really stop them now, can we? And you know what the press said? They said, fuck you, we ain't doing that. They turned them down. Thank you, press. Press won't stop you now, though, won't they? Did you hear all that? No. They wanted likes and loves. They wanted to be in the limelight. Where's the sacrifice? I want to be in the limelight. See, it's no longer a we thing. It's a you thing. Well, what happens if you get publicly drunk now? Now you've ruined the reputation of AA because you decided you were going to go out and speak for it. You can't speak for AA. That's like me going out and speaking on behalf of this pen. But what can we do? Now, there's a lot of things we could do, but I'm not going to do it here. So, the foundation wrote letters to practically every news outlet in North America, setting forward our public relations policy of attraction rather than promotion and emphasizing personal anonymity as AA's greatest protection. Since that time, editors and rewrite men have repeatedly deleted names and pictures of members from AA copy. Frequently, they have reminded ambitious individuals of AA's anonymity policy. They have even sacrificed good stories to this end. The force of their cooperation has certainly helped. Only a few AA members are left who deliberately break anonymity at the public level. Well, gosh, that's not true anymore. No, not with social media. See, it's so easy to hide behind cameras and get away with things. It is easy. That's the easy part. Or to hide behind your phone or your social media. That's not life. That's not even real. You know, if my intention is not to help the next person, or if your intention is not to help the next person, get the fuck out, please. I'm saying it politely. Please get the fuck out. Next time, I'm not going to put please in there. I'm going to tell you, get the fuck out. Yeah. Those are balls. Kick some of these people out of the fucking meeting that are disrupting it. Yeah. All right. This, in brief, is the process by which AA's Tradition 11 was constructed. To us, however, it represents far more than sound public relations policy. It is more than a denial of self-seeking. This tradition is a constant practical reminder that personal ambition has no place in AA. In it, each member becomes an active guardian of the fellowship. Guardian. Yes. It's gotta be safe. It's gotta be safe. Now, is it a safe space? No. Here, this is what safe spaces are like. Okay. Oh, sorry. There's only one safe space for you. That's here. Now, I can create safe spaces for people, sure. Do that with AA meetings and things like that. Doesn't mean it's safe. All right. Let's finish this up. While I was drinking, I reacted with anger, self-pity, and defiance against anyone who wanted to change me. All I wanted was to be accepted by another human being simply as I was. And curiously, that is what I found in AA. I became the custodian of concept of attraction, which in the principle of our fellowship's public relations, it is by attraction that I think that I can best reach the alcoholic who suffers. I thank God for having given me the attraction of a well-planned and established program of steps and traditions. Through humility and the support of my fellow sober members, I've been able to practice the AA way of life through attraction, not promotion. All right, everybody, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I love you, and happy Turkey Day. I love you. Peace out and have a day.